I'd rather stay on the surface because like there's more people than me and there's more like buildings and areas.
I'd rather stay on the surface because there's more people and more baseball fields.
Okay.
I'd rather dive deep because there's so much more knowledge to be gained from that.
They'll also go deep also because it's a lot more interesting and complicated. It's not just black and white.
I'd rather go deep just because you'd be able to develop stronger relationships and get to know people better and have a better knowledge about the things around you.
I'd rather go deep because on the surface everything is undisclosed, and finding what is unknown may be a good thing or a bad thing, but you'll never know until you try.
Basically talks about the way like he like makes it try to fathom the way the words that are in the verse and the scriptures is just an amazing way. So it's an amazing verse that we can read, and it can like we can fathom it. We can try to think deeper thoughts about it. We can try to think good about it. We can like try to understand it. Try to like make it in a simple way and understand it quicker.
So context is important when analyzing scripture because it gives you an idea of the time period and a reference so you know what's culturally relevant and sort of how that impacted the lives of people back then and then how we can use that to understand today.
Text means to me different ideas that one person can give you. So for example, when life throws you curveballs, God will give you the courage to face them in different aspects of context.
Context is important because things can mean entirely like different things depending on how you say them and when you say them. So like, and you can take things out of context. So like people can take like words out of the Bible are in the Bible and just take them and completely misinterpret them because they don't read what's before and after. Because like what happens around something that you say completely changes what it means. And so if you don't like understand like the background of something where it's coming from, you can completely misinterpret it and use it like to mean anything.
I think God sees me in like a perfect person, just the way I am. He knows like my every move, and he just loves me the way I am. Like even when I do something wrong, God thinks I'm perfect just the way I am, and I don't need to change anything about myself.
Loneliness can be like a feeling, like even when you're with a crowd of people and I guess sometimes it's just like a feeling you get, or like, yeah. And then like being alone, I guess you could like also feel that, like when you're in a crowd of people, but like you don't like communicate with them or anything.
God sees like our every move, and the verse that stuck out to me was 12, verse 12. It says like darkness and light are the same to God. So like, you know how people say like, I have a deepest, darkest secret. Like God doesn't count that as dark or whatever, because He knows like everything, and darkness is light to Him.
He's not only present with me all the time, but He's not like whenever I really need Him, He'll be with me. But He's always with me, with all of us, no matter what.
This week I've learned that staying beneath the surface is important, because if you stay in the shallow end, then you won't know the full story of someone and you won't get the full details of it.
I learned that there's a lot more to this whole like the fathoms thing. Don't get that sounds kind of cliche, but we can go a lot deeper than we usually do, especially in like Bible studies. Like I feel like being able to like study that one verse over and over again, which we do every year. But this year it's kind of the theme of it, because we were able to get into the fathoms of it. And so I think that it helps me understand how much deeper you can go into verses and such.
From Unidiversity this week, I've learned how to fathom
God in some ways, and I also learned that I may call my God something else, like my Almighty God, and you might call yours Super God, and the next person might call their God something else. And I also learned how to do the breath prayers, and I really like the breath prayers.
To me, going deeper means probably diving deeper into your faith, exploring it more, just like going into more depth about God and Jesus and all that. But I guess that's what going deeper to me means. I mean, you can also go deeper into like friendships, conversations about God, and just like going deeper into the Bible and just like getting more information on God and His presence and His love and everything He's done.
Okay, as my first time at Unidiversity, I have learned this week to be one with God, to love God. I learned how to be creative. I learned how to communicate with God better.
I think that going deeper depends on the context. Like if you're going deeper based on faith or going deeper in relationships, like deeper in relationships means taking the time to have like really special conversations with people, or getting deeper than what you usually talk about, like surface level stuff. And then going deeper like in faith means like not just reading the Bible, like reading things one time, like reading them over and over until you understand them better.
I like going deep more than just normal conversations, because it allows me to connect with people on like a deeper level, no pun intended. And it's kind of, it's a good way to like get to know people and stuff like that. And like it's really the only way I feel like that stuff gets done in our world, if that makes sense. Like if we never talked deep about anything, it would all be surface level. It'd be, you know, like the interactions on social media and stuff like that, and our world it would be worse off than it is right now. So
in my seminar, they talk about being vulnerable all the time, and part about going deep is becoming more vulnerable and letting those emotions come out, and letting the like real you come out, because many surface conversations won't go any deeper than just like, oh, how are you? I'm good, but are you really? Like, it's those questions that like you think about that make you wonder like what fathoms further you have to go to get the questions or answers that you need out of somebody to understand if they're really okay.
Slowly comes the winter frost, overtakes the valley. Clinging to the earth until the spring breaks free. Under the ever-watchful eye of the Maker, the life asleep inside the ground awakens.